It's safe to say the Panthers took the wrong guy number 1 overall. Take time to let it sink in. I know that's going to hit some of you in a strange place. It's also safe to say that without saying Bryce Young is a complete bust and he has no chance of being good. You can safely say the Panthers made the wrong pick without being doom and gloom in the skies falling about Bryce Young, but it just comes down to this. CJ Stroud is pretty special. If you watched that playoff game, you saw a guy that has the thing that you can't measure. That quarterback thing, that moxie, that poise. Everybody wishes you could identify it, and you can, but only when it smacks you in the face.
It factor.
Yeah, the it factor, the X factor, whatever you want to call it. Right? You wish you could watch a guy in college and know if he has it in the NFL, but you just can't. And I'll get ahead of this right now. I would have gotten it wrong too. I'm not looking at the Panthers and saying the pick is so bad and it's so terrible. I would have picked Bryce Young first too because of what I saw from Alabama. I thought he would have been the one most likely to have the it factor. Turns out it's CJ Stroud. He's a very natural thrower of the football, which allows him to make big throws in non-ideal situations. The game doesn't seem to ever get too fast for him. In big games, he made big plays. He's already one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Already. It's completely fair. It's okay to say, man, I wish the Panthers drafted that guy. And you can sit there and say, well, if you flipped positions, they would have, he'd be looking bad because of the supporting cast. I don't think you remember what the Texans' supporting cast was. Nico Collins looks like he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He's been around for a couple years now. Don't get confused with CJ Stroud making guys look really good with them always having been really good. And he's let's say Bryce Young takes 3 years, then he becomes one of the best quarterbacks in the league, which is possible, right? I'm not ruling out the ceiling of Bryce Young at all. Let's say he goes 2 or 3 years, then becomes one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Well, then you're years behind CJ Stroud. Next year, the Texans know they have their guy. The Panthers hope they have their guy at quarterback. That's a big difference. The Texans are already planning around how do we make sure this guy has a chance to win. The Panthers are planning around how do we hope this guy has a chance to win, and then maybe we have to be ready 2 or 3 years from now to try again. CJ Stroud looks like he's got something. And when he already looks like he has something, that puts him steps ahead of Bryce Young. By the way, go back and watch some of the plays, right? This guy was running the touchdown to Nico Collins this past week looked a lot like plays Bryce Young was asked to make. Offensive line was crumbling in front of him. He had to come off his spot, took a couple steps to his right. Get this, had a check down right in front of him. Devin Singletary, wide open. Could have taken the conservative completion. Instead, he had that weird quarterback thing that said, nope, I still think I can make this deep ball throw. I still think I can be accurate, and I'm going to give him a chance to score. And he did score. And he threw the deep ball. There's nothing more you can ask there. And that's not because he had a great supporting cast. It's not because the offensive line is unbelievable or the play call was great. It's an individual making a really good play.
And it's not like he's aided by some great running game. They're 29th in the NFL in yards per attempt.
Yeah, you know what I'm like? The safe option was Devin Singletary. Next year I think they might have a Saquon. Who knows, a Derrick Henry. I think they're going to make a move for a running back. But this past year, they didn't have that. Bryce Young still might be very, very good. Right? Still could be awesome.
Could be a Pro Bowler.
Could be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
I might even say I expect him to make a Pro Bowl by the time it's all said and done because the Pro Bowl, you only got to be the 17th best quarterback to get a Pro Bowl nod these days. But it's I'm trying to think of a good example here. A good example might be something like the Dolphins taking Tua 5th overall, right? Started slow, looks like he's putting it together. I think if you went to anybody in Miami and said, don't you wish you took Herbert? Herbert was the next pick, probably be like, yeah, I wish we took Herbert. He was better earlier. He didn't require as much change around him. He was, he's just a better guy as of right now. And I'm as big of a Tua fan as there is. But you can admit when you missed on somebody. It's no different than saying like, oh, I wish, I didn't take Darnold. I wish I took Lamar Jackson. Except the difference is, I'm not saying Bryce Young's a bust like you would say Darnold is. I'm just saying the guy after him was better. And it's already there. So you can say they took the wrong guy number 1 overall. That's not to say they took the worst quarterback in the history of the world. You missed. There was a 2-guy draft, right? There were weird thoughts of like Levis becoming number 1 overall. There were some strange moments there. Anthony Richardson with all of his physical tools. But let's be real. For most of the year leading up to the draft, it was CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. I'm not faulting anybody for getting that wrong because, nobody was super convinced. Nowadays, you're going to hear a lot of people that were, right? You've already heard, I actually had a much higher rating on CJ Stroud. It's like, yeah, I feel like I would remember if anyone was super convicted in CJ Stroud over Bryce Young, and I don't recall many of you. Some said, hey, I lean Stroud, but there weren't many. So it's not a bad mistake. The bad mistake is trading up to number 1. It's not a huge problem to draft Bryce Young based on everything we knew going into the draft. But 2020 hindsight, right? It's like putting a let me think like I'm going to use a basketball example. Right? Technical foul on the other team's coach. You get to put anyone you want on the free throw line. You put an 85% free throw shooter on the free throw line to win the game. He clanks 2 of them. Doesn't make either, right? Brick. You could sit there and be like, well, we did what was best. We took the chances. We did the math. This guy had the best chance of making them. Yeah, but if you say you would still do it in hindsight, he clanked 2 of them, right? We know how it happened. It wasn't right. Regardless of 85% of the time he makes those. Yeah, well, this time he didn't. So maybe you put the 82% free throw shooter in retrospect out there. Like maybe Bryce Young statistically was more likely to be the better quarterback. A year later, you can say, you know what, I'd rather have the guy that's turned in one of the best rookie quarterback seasons of all time. And you can miss me with remember when they played head-to-head? Because yeah. I know Bryce won the game, but that's just one game. It's a long season.
Yeah, exactly. It's one game.
It's one game, and it's a team sport and all those sorts. That's a tired conversation for me. I've had it too many times.